Have you met us yet? We are Migrate World, offering a wide range of services ranging from citizenship and residency by investment to company formation and more. Allow us to explain. If you're seeking residency or a second citizenship and passport, you come to us. Through investment, we help you obtain citizenship or residency, which not only aids you in visa-free travel and security, but also means ample opportunities and an overall better life. We offer citizenship and residency by investment programs in Cyprus, Malta, Bulgaria, Dominica, St. Kitts, Portugal, USA, UK, and Canada, just to name a few.
Hello once again, and a very warm welcome from Migrate World to all of you who've joined us online for this webinar. And thank you for taking the time out to be with us this morning. My name is Shalini Lamba, and the topic today is access to travel freedom and global mobility through residency and citizenship by investment. Joining me today is our senior consultant, Kunal Trivedi, who's based out of Mumbai. Welcome, Kunal, and good to see you here again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shalini, for your warm welcome.
So I'm sure all of you will have a lot of questions before the end of this webinar. So please ask away and we will take them up after our presentation. There is a chat box on the panel for this purpose. I've seen a lot of you there. Good morning to all of you. And do mention your name, the name of your company, and the city you're from. We have also put together a couple of polls to get your participation on our webinar today.
Good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. We are delighted to have you guys here. So before moving on to our webinar, I would like to understand what exactly are your goals. So are you guys looking out for a permanent residency, or you are interested in obtaining a second passport or a citizenship? So we have an interesting poll here. Maybe you guys can just take part in that and let us know what exactly your objectives are. So the poll is live, guys.
So Kunal, the winner here from our audience seems to be citizenship and passport. Extremely interesting. In fact, it's giving a run for the money to permanent residency.
Yeah.
We have 79% looking at citizenship and passport. Fabulous. Thank you so much, all of you. It's given us a great insight into the audience that we have here today. And you know, our next slide is very interesting because it just shows the trend that is happening all over India today, in fact, globally. But in India, just see the headlines that are doing the rounds nowadays. You know, the pandemic very effectively shut down travel worldwide for the last 2 years and brought to light the importance of travel freedom and global mobility. More and more, you know, as does we see more and more entrepreneurs are exploring global business and, you know, investment prospects today. And to bring in some statistics through our next slide. Yeah, the next slide, Kunal. Yeah. To bring in some statistics, you know, the world is changing very fast to global citizenship, and India is not very far behind in adapting to these changes. In fact, investment migration continues to rise in India. And Kunal, as we have seen at Migrate World too, in the past couple of years, the concept of residency and citizenship by investment has gained more public acceptance than in any previous year. Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree to this point, Shalini. So in fact, let me tell you, we at Migrate World had the highest number of inquiries for residency and citizenship programs from the high net worth individuals in India in the year 2020 amidst the pandemic. I must say, the pandemic has impacted their lives in many ways.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a phenomenal 45% increase over previous years. And we already knew by that time the stats were out that 2% of India's millionaires had already flocked overseas in 2020.
Yeah. So, I was going through a report a couple of days ago, and I came across this fact that India may witness almost 8,000 HNIs or high net worth individuals immigrating, which is like 14% more than it was 3 years ago, which is a huge number, I believe.
That's a huge number. And
This, yeah,
silver lining or the golden lining is that India produces far more millionaires than it gives out. And these outflows are not particularly concerning. And the same report, Kunal, also showed that the number of US dollar millionaires and billionaires in India will grow by 80% over the next 10 years. And it will only grow by 20% in the US in comparison, and 10% in France, Germany, Italy, and the UK. So, that's fabulous. This makes India one of the fastest growing wealth nations, as per Andrew M. Oil, head of research at New World Wealth. Interesting tidbits.
I'm sure. This actually indicates the accelerating pace of immigration by Indian millionaires. Don't you think these millionaires are on the move again? I'm sure 2023 is going to be a record breaker. Just like we have seen so far in 2022, we have had a lot of inquiries and a lot of applications this year too.
Absolutely. And what is interesting is, that the top four nationalities currently driving demand are Russians, Indians, Americans, and the Brits. So I guess, Kunal, like you said, the time to invest and innovate is now.
Now, yeah.
So, Kunal, what comes to mind through all these little trends and tidbits is that what is motivating these high net worth Indian families to immigrate? Just share a little on that with us.
Sure. Well, Shalini, I think there are many reasons why these high net worth individuals are on the move, but the top ones are the ones that you can see on the screen. Global mobility, of course, tops the list of reasons because high net worth individuals plan for a residency or a passport in order to travel visa free across various destinations. Visa free travel to numerous countries has always been their priority. The next big reason is education for children. So everybody wants excellent quality of education for their children. This factor also is driving a lot of demand for immigration these days. It especially drives a lot of demand for programs in USA or Canada because of the kind of quality of education that these countries have. So I've seen this nowadays. Majority of these businessmen and entrepreneurs want to expand their business globally. Hence, they are looking out for opportunities to have a second foot abroad. Just obtaining a second passport or having a residence permit so that they can expand their business or do business more freely. One
Absolutely.
one big reason that I feel personally is tax management. Tax management also is playing an important role in driving demand for investment migration in India. Due to increase in income and global expansion, there is an increase in taxes too, and new age businessmen want to save on taxes. So I believe Caribbean countries are the best bet for them due to low taxation and some more tax benefits. The other reasons are also having a better quality of life for their family or security of their family due to various other reasons. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, global mobility plays a big role for the simple reason that gives me access to different countries without the trouble of going through time, money-consuming visa processes. And then, what is very interesting is that visa-free travel allows you to travel on a dime if you want to. There's no accumulation of papers that you need to give in to the embassies and to the consulates to prove that you can travel visa free, that you can travel to these countries. So we don't have to go through the hassle of going to an embassy, turning in your passport, waiting for approvals. And personally, I've seen it at Migrate World that a lot of businessmen are looking at expansion globally. They want to be part of the global expansion. And I think this is where a lot of them are wanting to become global citizens. Security, I mean, in the wake of the pandemic, security, education, better lifestyle for the family and for the children plays a major role. We've seen that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would want to, know, or I would want to learn from the audience what motivates them to emigrate, or what motivates them to look out for a second option. Maybe we can do this through a poll.
Yeah, super.
I'll just publish a poll, and maybe you guys can, come in with your opinions. Here it is.
This gives us scope for our next webinar, Kunal. Better lifestyle. 60%.
Yeah.
And 29% visa-free travel. Oh, that's gone down to 23 now, and education for children has taken over. So we have 60% looking at better lifestyle. So I guess that's going to go on next.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your participation.
So, do you know why do people, or why specifically these businessmen or high net worth individuals want visa-free travel?
Actually, I was going to ask you that question, Kunal. Why do these high net worth Indians want visa-free travel?
So
Please.
I'll just give you a few. I'll just give you a few examples, or few issues that, or challenges rather, that these people face, and they are looking out for a visa-free access to various destinations. So nowadays, what we have noticed is people face a lot of issues in getting visa appointments, thus affecting their travel. So recently, I read an article where a family was supposed to travel to a country in Europe, but due to not getting visa appointments, they had to cancel their entire plan. And now, since the schools have opened up, they cannot plan again. So that's an issue that they faced recently. Also, what I have noticed is that the documentation requirement for visas has increased due to often changes in visa policies after the pandemic, especially, thus making the visa application process cumbersome. I was recently speaking to a friend of mine who has a good business in India, and he's a frequent business traveler. But he wasn't very happy with the visa process. So I asked him, why is it? So he said he did not get visas for longer tenures. Thus, this had affected his business indirectly. He wanted to stay there for longer durations, wanted to explore more avenues, but he had to come back because of limited visa validity. But with visa free travel, these problems are solved easily, as people don't need to spend money and time on getting visas again and again. So, visa free travel enables individuals to travel to various nations without any hassles.
True. In fact, I would also like to share with you about one of my clients who just reported to me the other day. He got a citizenship done through us, and he was talking about the fact that he had to suddenly travel to China on business. And he was at that time not in India. He was at that time, in fact, in UK. And having a Grenada passport, by investment, he said, I just picked up my passport and traveled because Grenada citizenship offers you visa-free travel to China. It saved him a lot of hassles. He saved a lot of money, and it made it easier for him to be, with hassle-free travel without thinking that I'll have to wait and maybe lose money and time in the process.
Wow, that's interesting. So, visa-free travel is relatively straightforward and in fact solves majority of the travel problems. Let's say if you have a good passport and you want to travel to Europe, let's say you want to travel to UK, you just take your passport, book your flights and just move on. So it becomes very easy, I must say.
So, Kunal, the obvious question: how do we get visa-free travel?
So, the solution to this is what we've seen recently. Many high net worth individuals are now turning to investment migration to obtain or to gain greater mobility. Since getting
That's
a
right.
ticket passport becomes more convenient, and plus, travel becomes very easy once they have a passport, which allows visa-free travel to almost 150, 140 countries.
Right. And we at Migrate World offer a varied range of investment migration options. Among the citizenship programs means that you can get a passport, and that passport gives you literally 80% of the world travel free. You can settle down in any of the country that you want, and you are a citizen of that particular country for life. Residency programs and golden visa are also picking up and very popular with people who may not want to immediately give up their passports or are waiting for certain business and other to be free from certain business and other commitments in India, and hence they do get they take the residency programs or golden visa and have the option of getting access to education, healthcare facilities, visa-free travel without giving up the passport. So these are programs which are really doing very well at the moment. I think it's extremely important that, as we saw at the beginning, that our most of our audience is looking at citizenship programs and passport, and I think that's fabulous because it'll open up the world to you and give you global mobility and make you a global citizen. Most of the residency programs also lead to citizenship. You have the option of going in for citizenship after a number of years and after fulfilling certain requirements that they do have for residency. So, well, this is one of my most, favorite slides where, once you get an EU passport or a citizenship, then you have one of the most powerful passports in the world. In fact, whether it's Portugal, Greece, Italy, Ireland, you're in the top 5 passports in the world, giving you free medical coverage, free education in most of the European Union countries, free movement. You can, once you have a passport, European Union passport, you can live, work, and study across the European Union, which is very interesting because it opens up the whole world for you. You can open bank accounts, offices, your children can have free movement. So I think having a passport and citizenship, which is what most of you did want to look at or are looking at, is a fabulous option going forward. And of course, again, look at the countries we have access to. The 27 European countries which are part of the European Union, the Schengen area countries, 26 Schengen area countries. While the Schengen and the European Union countries overlap, I think Bulgaria and Croatia are the two that are part of the EU and not part of the Schengen area. The Eurozone countries are the ones that have given up their currency and gone on to the euro currency. Quite a few of them are doing that because of the obviously the strength that it carries and depending on their own currency. So this is a beautiful slide which just shows you that just in Europe itself, look at the mobility that you have and the visa-free travel that it gives you. One of my favorite slides again. So Kunal, let's share with everyone here Migrate World citizenship and residency programs.
Sure. So we at Migrate World deal with citizenship programs in the Caribbean region, the European region, And of course, we have a small island towards Australia known as Vanuatu. So we deal with programs in the Caribbean like the St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, and St. Lucia. And in the European region, we have programs in Malta and Turkey. So the programs in the Caribbean region start from $100,000, which are the cheapest programs available for obtaining a direct citizenship or a direct passport, enabling you to travel to 150 countries visa free. Plus, the time taken in any of the citizenship programs is 3 to 6 months, which is quite easy. The next we come on to residency programs and golden visas. So we deal with residency programs and golden visa programs. So residency is in UK, Canada, US, and then the residency programs in the European region are known as golden visa programs. So we deal with Greece, Portugal, Spain, Malta, and Cyprus in the Europe. And apart from that, we have Canada, USA, and UK. So one gets a residence permit if he invests in a property or maybe a government instrument for himself and his entire family, which then later on leads to a citizenship after a few years of living there. So here are some interesting facts about the programs that we deal with. Dominica and St. Lucia are the most economical citizenship programs for single person, starting at 100,000 US dollars, which is like approximately 80 lakhs in Indian rupees. Also, Antigua and Barbuda program is the cheapest citizenship program for families. So if someone wants to take a passport for the entire family, Antigua is a good option. And if you want to apply as a single applicant, Dominica and St. Lucia are great ones.
And I love St. Kitts, Kunal, the most powerful Caribbean passport. The first country to actually start this whole process of citizenship by investment in 1984. And of course, the most powerful in terms of visa-free travel.
Though I mentioned that, there are, so these citizenship programs usually take 3 to 6 months, but Vanuatu has the fastest program, or the processing time is relatively very low. You can get a passport in like 60 to 90 days in Vanuatu. Plus,
right. Yeah, sorry, Kunal. I just have to jump into Portugal, which is my most favorite, as you know, and the most residence and citizenship program in Europe, where you can receive EU citizenship after 5 years without compulsory living requirements. So Greece, of course, is the most competitive residency program at 250,000 euros, but Portugal is my favorite, as you know.
That's interesting. So, Grenada and Turkey both have the E2 treaty with the US. So once a person gets a Grenada or a Turkish passport, he can legally go and live in the US, provided that he does some business there. So it allows them to go and live in the US and do business, which is an interesting advantage that one gets with a Grenada or a Turkish citizenship. Plus, Grenada is the only country that has a visa waiver agreement with both China and Russia.
And Turkey with Japan. So do you think we can go in for a poll now, Kunal? Maybe we can find out exactly what now interests our audience.
Sure. So let's learn it from the audience. Which country would they prefer if they had to look out for a PR or citizenship by investment? So the poll is live.
Portugal seems to be winning here again, Kunal. Oh, well, Canada has taken over. Interesting. Caribbean is not far behind, huh? The Caribbean is, in fact, excellent. Yeah,
It's leading now.
yeah, after Canada. Yeah. So it's Canada and Caribbean at 29%. Interesting. USA has not had so many takers, in the near past, and they're at 18%. Caribbean seems to be getting a lot of traction at 30%. That's a great insight. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your participation. So let's go on to the next slides, Kunal, so that we can get on to the question and answers. People are asking a lot of questions.
So maybe we can just introduce ourselves and how can we assist them in their journey of obtaining a passport or a PR.
So Migrate World, as we know, is an industry leader in citizenship and residency by investment, established in 2007 with over 15 successful years. And of course, we have global offices with associates in all the countries we deal with. And we are a government approved and licensed firm. Hence, we offer only government approved and constitutional programs. We are probably one of the few global players in this field, specializing in only PR and citizenship. With our offices in Delhi, Mumbai, and Hyderabad, and senior consultants pan India, we are here. We know how important India is for us, and we are here to help you right from the start till you acquire your citizenship or your PR. Next slide will show you that we have Migrate World offices. We have more than 40 Migrate World offices across the world, and with associates and our legal team in all of them available for any assistance that you may require. Our offices in Delhi, Mumbai, and Hyderabad, and we have now recently also got presence in Bangalore and Pune. We're expanding to reach you as much as possible. And of course, do book your free consultation with us. Very easy to get in touch with us. Our first names and at migrateworld.com. That's myself, Shalini at migrateworld.com. Srinath takes care of South India, based out of Hyderabad, but he's traveling all over all the time. So Srinath at migrateworld.com. Kunal, whom you've just met, takes care of Western India. And Radha and Jaswinder take care of North India. They're both based out of Delhi, but there is a lot of travel involved for both the girls too, especially in the Punjab and other areas where the demand is more. So do get in touch with us. Our email IDs, our telephone numbers, and our WhatsApp numbers are given here, 9810004546. Now, I think there are a lot of questions, so let's get on to the questions. Welcome, Sarthak. Thank you so much for coming in to help us with, identifying all the questions. So let's start right away.
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. You guys are asking so many questions that I had to come in. I know you were expecting Jaswinder, but don't worry. I think I'm as sweet and pretty as her. Okay, so let's start. Let's go. So first question, I think I'll give it to you, Shalini. This is a very interesting question, and I think it sums up the theme of this webinar. So the question is, what is global mobility, and what does it offer me? This is from Ankit Goyal.
Okay, yeah, very interesting. And very well asked. Actually, global mobility for me today is access to those passports that allow visa-free travel to many countries. The reason why investors around the world would consider looking at investment migration programs could be for a range of reasons. But the main driver for these programs has historically been the travel freedom and access to global markets for business reasons or for holidays. Nowadays, as we mentioned, businessmen need that freedom to be able to expand their opportunities, business connections, and grow the business. Of course, like we just shared, if you have Grenada citizenship by investment, you can travel to China, you can travel to Russia. If you have Turkish citizenship by investment, you can travel to Japan. Of course, the European Union passport, as we know, gives visa-free access to more than 80% of the world, along with safe passage and consular assistance for you and your family in situations beyond your control. And that's priceless, especially in today's world. So global mobility gives you access to be a global citizen where you can move at the drop of a hat. You don't have to go through any rigorous or any time consuming visa processes. You have the freedom to move and to access any of the global countries that you want to. And I think that, again, I would like to use the word is priceless. Thank you. Thank you for asking that question, Ankit.
Thank you, Ankit. And thank you for the answer. Okay, so next question is from Sarfaraz, and he's asking, can you please tell me the minimum investment amount for the Caribbean? Kunal, why don't you answer this one?
So the minimum investment for Caribbean is $100,000. Since there are 5 countries, every country has a different, a different program. But the minimum is $100,000, and all the programs are quite similar, as in terms of their investment structures or in terms of the process. Every country is similar, wherein the applicant first applies by submitting his documents and paying a few application fees. Once it is approved by the government, then he invests the money in that particular country in order to get his citizenship and the passport. Now, there are 2 options in these countries which are usually available. One is either they can go in for a donation to that particular country, or they can invest in a government approved project in that country. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, I think pretty much. I think Sarfaraz is satisfied.
So, I just wanted to come in here that a lot of people are asking for our telephone numbers. Just wanted to let you know that the numbers given on the screen are easily accessible. But Sarthak, is it possible for us to just get someone to put in all our numbers, mine, Srinath, Kunal, Radha, Jaswinder?
Sure.
People have easy access to that. Sorry for the interruption, but I just thought we could, do with that before we go on to our next question. And so we can move on now.
Yes. Okay. You take the next question. I'll quickly update our website, our consultation link, and here it is.
Thank you.
Okay, so next question is from Preeti Ahmed, and the question is, what is the difference between permanent residency and citizenship? Shalini, if you can take this one.
Okay, thank you. I get this question very often, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that people are looking at the difference between the two because, permanent residency is a visa status that allows the bearer of the permanent residency card to legally reside in the host country. Where he has invested without being a citizen of that country, which means that you can retain your Indian passport. PR status, though, can lead to citizenship, provided the resident has lived in the country for a certain number of years and fulfilled all other requirements for the citizenship process. And what is very interesting is that by investing in the economy of the said country, PR status is conferred at an accelerated rate compared to other traditional applications. As we discussed, citizenship by investment is the process of obtaining a passport, again by investing in the economy of the host country. And it grants, these citizenship by investment programs legally grant citizenship status much faster again than traditional immigration processes. And what I like about it is that the investor doesn't necessarily need to put, his or her life on hold during this process. And applications can be approved in as little as 3 to 6 months, resulting in citizenship for life. Thank you, Preeti, for the question. I hope that answers it.
Thank you, Preeti. Okay, so the next question is for Kunal. Kunal, another Caribbean question for you. Interesting one, though. Okay, how do I get a citizenship of St. Kitts and Nevis? This is from Apurv Agarwal. So Apurv, I think, wants to emigrate to St. Kitts.
That's good. So, in order to get a passport or a citizenship of St. Kitts, you'll need to either make a donation of $150,000, or you can invest in a government-approved project, which are usually real estate-based projects or tourism-based projects, and the investment for that will be $220,000 US. If you add your family members, there are certain government fees which will be added depending on the number of applicants. The process is quite simple here. You just need to apply by submitting your documents along with the application fees. Wait for your approval. Once you get an approval from the government, you'll need to make the donation or the investment, and you'll get your citizenship certificate and your passport. So the process is pretty straightforward and simple, and it will take not more than 6 to 8 months to get a passport here in St. Kitts. So I must say St. Kitts is the one of the strongest passports in the Caribbean region that will allow you to travel to almost 150 countries without a visa, which will include UK, Europe, South America, Africa, parts of Asia, and also Russia.
Okay, thank you, Kunal. Though Apurv, I think this was pretty straightforward, but it was a little complicated also. So I think you should probably go ahead. Let me help you. You should, I think, go ahead and book a private consultation with us, and Kunal will be able to, specifically tell you what all things are required and rest other details. Thank you, Apurv, for the question. Okay, so next question is, what are the benefits and advantages of Portugal Golden Visa?
I guess that's going to come to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, well, actually, which one of us doesn't want to be in the land of sea, sand, and sunshine, right? So, actually, the Portugal Golden Visa, it's the fastest program to avail an European Union residence permit through an investment activity in Portugal, without compulsory living requirements. So you only need to stay for 7 days in a year to keep your residence permit alive. Also, being a residence permit holder gives you access to free education for children and world-class healthcare systems for children as well as your parents. Of course, visa-free travel in the Schengen area. And after 5 years, you can apply for citizenship, which will give visa-free access to over 80% of the world. And it leads to the fact that once you get your passport, then you can live, study, work in any of the 28 European Union countries with your family and have global mobility.
I just saw a question. I actually came across a question from Jagruti. What is the age group that can look at migration, and how stressful is the paperwork? It's interesting.
Yeah, nice question. Excellent. So just go through the question again, Kunal.
So she wants to know what is the age group that can look at migration, and how stressful is the paperwork?
Yeah, right. So you want to take that, Kunal?
Sure. So basically the age criteria is such that the person needs to be above 18, and in terms of paperwork, it totally depends on the country that you choose. For example, countries like the Caribbean islands have very minimal documentation and are basically very easy to go, quite straightforward programs and processes. Nothing needs to be done. There's no rocket science behind that. Also, countries like Canada, some programs there is very less paperwork, so we can assist you with that. And then Europe also is pretty straightforward. So the paperwork is not that stressful if you are looking at investment migration.
I'll just come in here, with a few details more in the fact that the few important things when you look at investment migration is that the documents that are required would, of course, be the birth certificates, the police clearances, your bank information, and any marriage certificates, etc., that you may have. And what you need to be also very particular about is that if there are any visa refusals or any overstay of visas, do bring it to our attention so we can sort it out before we proceed with the process. You need to have a clear criminal record. The age group normally starts from about 18 years onwards, and most of them do not have a maximum age. I see a lot of people asking about Canada. Yes, unfortunately, due to paucity of time on this webinar, we're unable to take Canada. We've done quite a few Canadian webinars in the past. Do get in touch with us, and we will share with you the Canadian programs. Normally, normally the people who are included in these programs all under one investment are normally the main applicant with the spouse, children under 18 or 21 years, depending on the program, and even dependent unmarried children up to 26 years, and dependent parents of both the spouses can be included in the applications. In fact, in some of the Caribbean applications, they also allow dependent siblings, and all of this under one investment. So it makes for a very holistic uh, uh, immigration program. Okay, thank you both, Sarthak and Kunal, for being here with me, and really appreciate the active participation from our audience today. It's been fabulous, the number of questions asked and the interest that has been shown. We look forward to you joining us in our future webinars, and do keep in touch with us and get in touch with us at the numbers and places given. Do not worry, we will anyway be in touch with you too.